What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning back in to another episode of us transforming this G82. So as you guys saw in the last video, we completely transformed the front end of this car. We did a carbon fiber grille, carbon fiber lower vents, carbon fiber lip. We put one of the DRLs in. I will be finishing that up as well. We also did front mount intake. So for this part of the build series, we will be doing the carbon fiber mirror caps, as well as, obviously, as I said, the second set of DRLs and the lowering springs. These are KW height adjustable springs. And don't forget about the carbon fiber side skirts here. So stay tuned. I will be running you guys through the entire process. I'm going to pull out the lowering springs right now so I can show you guys a little bit on what the process is to actually install these lowering springs, because these are much different than the regular lowering springs that we have installed on these cars before. So stay tuned. Alright guys, here's a closer look at the KW height adjustable spring kit for the G8X. So it comes with the front springs, rear springs, adjustment for all four, bump stops, and spanner wrenches. So the interesting part about this kit is that the perches on the stock struts need to be removed, and this needs to be pressed into that spot. It has to be perfectly aligned, of course, and that is the trick to this kit. It needs to be perfectly aligned so that it sits properly. I think this will dial up the fitment just perfect. As you can see, it is about a 3.5 finger gap in the front, and just about the same for the rear. So we'll be able to bring it just down to about 1 finger, and that's what the client was looking for. So we can get the fitment dialed in just perfect. And of course, we also have spacers. So with the spacers and the extended bolts, including the springs, this car should look absolutely amazing after this. And I think it will really transform the way everything looks. So I'm pretty excited. Stay tuned. I'll be showing you guys the whole process of ripping everything apart. Alright guys, so before we actually start on the springs, I thought I would just get the carbon fiber mirror caps over with real quick. So to start off, the first step here is I just laid this microfiber down to protect the paint itself in case anything flies around or anything. So what we will be doing is pushing the glass all the way up and all the way to the right. And you have to be extremely careful with this because you can obviously damage the glass itself. But essentially the goal is to grab it by your hand, as well as stick a pry tool in there. Gotta be careful, don't want to damage anything. There we go. Well, have to be very careful with these. Do not want to damage them, of course. So after we get this glass removed, we actually don't have to take it off the car completely. We can leave the connections as is. I'll be moving the camera over a little bit so you guys can see what we are working with right here. we go. So you want to pop these two clips right here, start pulling it out, and then you have to sort of swivel this like that. And there we have it. So we got our T10. We will unscrew this right here. Alright, so now we have both of those unscrewed. Now we can finagle this out. Sort of. There we go. So as you can see, we have the actual turn signal light right here. It's still connected to the car, and this is the stock mirror cap. So stock mirror cap can go. Here we have our upgraded carbon fiber mirror cap. Alright, so pretty much we're gonna do the reverse order of what we did to take this out. We want to sort of slide this into place. Make sure it's lined up. There we go. Once you see all of the holes aligned and the clips in, that means it is aligned properly. And this is what it will look like. So now we can simply screw the turn signal back into the mirror cap. Start it in by hand first, and now I got my T10. I can snug that right back down. Obviously make sure that these turn signal lights work and everything. I didn't even unplug them, so I'm not too concerned, but before the client picks up the car, I will double check everything. Make sure these two screws are snug. Okay, now And this time we got it lined up just right. Give it a nice snug. So obviously the dry carbon mirror caps usually fit a little bit better, but this is a wet carbon one. Nonetheless, still looks great. Now you push the mirror right back in, and that is the final result. Take you guys right over here so you can see. There we have it. Nice carbon fiber mirror cap. Looks great, complements the car very nicely. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll get started on the springs. All right guys, so now that I just took care of this right now. I wanted to transfer the M4 competition badge over from the original grill to this one. Got that done real quick. Now I'm working on doing the springs. So the first thing you have to do, the first step is to remove this little panel right here. You simply twist it, pull this line out, comes out. Same thing on the other side, except there's no line running through it. And then we will be removing all of these little clips. Removing this, pulling this little connector off for the EDC. Once that is all removed, I already have the car somewhat jacked up, but I'm gonna loosen the lug nuts, take the wheels off, and get started on actually removing the assembly so that we can change the spring out. Alright guys, now with the wheels removed off the car, I have access to the strut, spring, and everything. But before I do that, I'm going to get the DRLs done real quick. So we're going to remove a couple of these bolts out of the fender liner, change out to the yellow DRL, and then move on from there. Alright guys, time to move on to the springs. Just got the carbon fiber side skirts installed. Looking real nice. So now the trick to the springs is you pull the end link off. There's a bolt on the other side of it. You have to also remove both of these and remove the top nut. After you get all those apart, you can bring this assembly down a little bit, wiggle the actual strut out, and then we can put on the this little thing. This is called the perch. We can throw on the perch then. And get the springs in, put on the perch, and then we will do some adjustments to get the ride height right. As you can see, the KW spring is now on. I set the ride height to about 8 millimeters for max drop. I think that'll give it a good 1 finger gap, 1.5 finger gap, hopefully. We had to transfer over the knuckle right here, this little area. We got everything on there. We added the bump stop that KW provided. That's in there. Now we can simply get this thing back together, and we're done with this side, and then I will be doing the same on the other side. Alright guys, so check it out. Here is the final result of everything. I think the car looks absolutely great now. All these mods did the car justice. So just to overview again what we did to this car, we did the carbon fiber front grille, carbon fiber lower vents, front lip. Don't forget about intakes, front mount intakes, carbon fiber mirror caps, carbon fiber side skirt extensions, and KW height adjustable springs. I think the client will be very happy with the results. The car definitely looks much better than it did when it came in, and I'm excited for what other mods he is planning for this. Beautiful car. And just to talk about it real quick, the height adjustment, we will be probably doing a little bit more height adjustment. I'm gonna let the spring settle for now. I think the front sits perfect. The rear could use a slight bit lower, but I'll let the client decide. So he'll probably be back. Adjust the height real quick. And thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for more. We will be doing more mods to this car as well as other BMWs as always. And if there are any questions, please hit the comment section below. Guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. If there's anybody in the North Jersey area looking to get any work done on their cars, hit me up, EndlessAutoStyling on Instagram. I'll get you right just like I got this G82. Peace.